heart went.
Okay, for an example, we have here a circuit wherein this is different from the previous we've solved for equivalent resistance, diba? Kasi before, if we are solving for the resistance across AB, which is the question in this problem. So this problem is looking for RAB. Dati yung terminals A and B natin, diba, it's connected on a side. Tapos everything can be simplified from the rightmost papunta sa kanila. Pero ito, parang na-spread yung terminals mo in between nila, nandun yung buong circuit natin. Ngayon, if we are going to simplify this, papunta dun kay resistors A and B para makuha natin yung resistance nila, hindi mo na pwedeng sabihin that 5 ohms is in series with 3 ohms, diba? Because of the presence of a node. There's something in between 5 and 3. So, they are not series. Ngayon, hindi mo rin naman masabi that 3 ohms is parallel to another 3 ohms sa ilalim. Why? Because there is a branch connected in between the other two terminals. Unlike dito, connected sila sa kanan. But on the left side, they are not directly connected since may 10 ohms dito. So, ito yung sinasabi natin na it is not always the case that you can simplify the circuit using series and parallel configurations. Thus, anong meron tayo dito? So, in this particular circuit, meron tayong Y connected. Alin yung Y connection natin? This one. This 5 ohms connected to 10, connected to 3. This is Y connected. Or, pwede yung ilalim. This is 10. Ito yung common node na piliin mo, 5 ohms. And then 3 ohms. This is another Y. Kaso kapag tayo ay nagko-convert from Y to delta or delta to Y, hindi mo pwedeng i-convert ng sabay yung dalawang Y connections if they are using a common branch. Okay? So, kung pipili ka ng Y dito, isa lang. It's either you choose this one or you use the lower one. Okay? Aside from that, what else do we have? We have a delta connection here. Alin yung delta? Wala naman triangle. Ito po, delta ito, di ba? Y. You have 3 resistors continuously connected to each other. Diba? Hindi lang nagmukhang triangle. Pero diba sabi natin, flexible ang wire. Pwede natin i-move yan. So, pwedeng ganito itsura niya, no? Para mapansin mo na there's a possibility that this is indeed delta. Correct? Ganun. Okay, so you can convert this. If this is delta, you can convert this papuntang Y. Or, pwedeng ito yung delta natin. Yung kaliwang side. 5, 10, and 5 are connected delta also. So, pwedeng, if this is delta, we can convert this to Y. So, yun ang unahin natin gawin. I'll solve this problem in 2 ways. One, that considers a Y converting to delta. And then, the first one I'll do is, considering this as delta, I'll convert it papuntang Y. Okay, so let's solve this problem by converting this right side from delta papuntang Y. Therefore, we have to identify our nodes. So, yung nodes kung saan nakakabit itong tatlong ito ay ito, and then this one, diba? So, let's say this is node C and D. And then, let's connect our Y configuration dun sa nodes natin. Okay. And then let's name this as XYZ. Okay. So, from a delta connection, if we're going to convert this to Y, para makuha natin si resistor X. So, si resistor X, di ba yung umiipit sa kanya, that's 3 times 10, over yung sum ng resistances natin. That would be 3 plus 10 plus 3. And then for Y, yung umiipit sa kanya, that's 3 times 3 all over the same denominator. And then for Z, yung umiipit kay Z, so 3 times 10 ulit, pares ni X. All over 3 plus 10 plus 3. To simplify, the answers are 15 15 over 8. So, ibig sabihin 15 over 8 din ito. And then you have 9 over 16. Okay. So, okay, so pag nakuha niya na yung values dito, we are going to redraw the circuit. Since pinalitan na natin tong delta na to ng Y connection, tatanggalin mo ngayon tong tatlong to sa circuit connection natin, no? Pag nag-redraw ka ngayon, you have terminal A, 5 ohms, and then node C, and then you have 5 ohms ulit, and then node D, tapos kay C nakakabit si X. Anong value ni X? Ang value ni X ay 15 over 8. And then, sa kanan nandun si Y. And then, your terminal B, diba? So, si Y ay 9 over 16. And then, for D, nandun si Z, papunta sa common node. Si Z ay 15 over 8 din. Okay. Now, pag nakapag-redraw ka na, mapapansin na natin ngayon na ito ay series na, diba? You have this. Two resistances are now series. Ganon din sa ilalim. Series na. So, if they are in series now, we can get their equivalent resistance. For a series, we simply add, diba? 5 plus 15 over 8. That would be 55 over 8. So, if we redraw, magiging terminal A, may isang resistor na lang sa taas. And then terminal B, isang resistor sa baba. Then our common node, diba? And then in the common node, nandun si 9 over 16. So, itong dalawang to, pinaltan lang natin ito. Andito pa rin yung common node. Ito yun. Okay? This is 55 over 8 according to the sum of the two resistances. And then yung ilalim ganun din. So, as you can see, this is parallel connection. So, para makuha natin yung equivalent ng parallel connection na yan, that's 55 over 8 inverse. Inverse lang natin yon. Inverse lang natin yung sum. So, since ito ay naka-series kay 9 over 16, pag nakuha mo yung parallel combination, which is this one, i-add lang natin si 9 over 16. Makukuha na natin si RAB. So, if we're going to type that in our calculator, you have 55 over 8 plus inverse plus 9 over 16. Our answer is 4 ohms. Okay, so yung ginawa natin kanina, itong delta na to, kinonvert natin papuntang Y. So, ang gawin naman natin this time, kumuha tayo ng Y, maaling dito sa dalawang to, ito, or itong nasa ilalim, and then yun naman ang i-convert natin sa delta. So, for my ease, para mas madali at hindi sikip, ito na lang ilalim yung pipiliin ko. So, for this Y connection, alin yung magiging terminals natin? So, magiging terminals natin, bali ay... O, sige, dito muna tayo para kitang-kita nyo na Y siya. Yan, di ba? Y nga. So, we're going to connect in between this terminals, to create a delta. Yan, okay. Pangalanan natin yung resistors natin. Pwede kayo magpangalan ng ABC or XYZ ulit na sa inyo. But for me, para hindi ako malito with this terminals, A and B din kasi to, babalik ko ng XYZ na lang ulit. Pwede naman yun. Okay. Now, kung ikaw ay kukuha ng delta connection galing sa Y, ito yung taken 2 at a time, diba? So, ikukunin natin yung product ng dalawahan. Take their sum. So, 5 times 10 plus 5 times 3 plus 3 times 10. So, ito lang yun. 5 times 10, 5 times 3, 3 times 10. That would be the common numerator that we'll have. Divided by, yan. Piliin natin yung opposite resistor. So, if this is resistor X, connected siya dito sa node na to, kukunin ko yung opposite sa kanya, would be this node at yung resistor na nakakabit doon, that's 3 ohms. Or kita mo naman dito. Diba this is resistor X. So ito yung opposite niya. That would be 3 ohms. For resistor Y, Same numerator, ano ba to? 50, 80, 95. 95 over, what is resistor Y? What is the resistance opposite to Y? So, opposite to Y, I see 5 ohms. And then for Z, same numerator, 95. For resistor Z, so ito ha, si resistor C, dito nakakabit na node. So, yung natira mong node, kung anong connected doon, yun ang pipiliin natin. Okay, let's compute for these values. This one is 95 over 3 ohms. This is 19 ohms. And this one is 9.5 ohms. Okay. After getting those values, you have to redraw the circuit in such manner wherein, i-delete na natin tong Y na to. Diba? So, kapag nag-redraw ka ngayon, you have terminal A, you have 5 ohms, and then you have 3 ohms, hindi naman natin yung kinonvert. Ito yung mawawala. So, i-replace natin yan with an X. With an X. Ano ba yung value ng X natin? 95 over 3. And then a Y. Value ng Y natin ay 19 ohms. And then a Z. Ang Z natin ay 9.5 ohms. And then, you have here terminal B. Mas nagmukha siyang mahirap. But, if you can identify, this becomes parallel. Diba? There's a common node here. And these two are parallel also. So, if we're going to replace this, parallel yan, diba? You have a common node here. Tapos, iisang node din naman to. Naghiwalay lang. So, magiging itsura ngayon yan, you have terminal A. Palitan natin ng parallel combination ni 5 and 95 over 3. Ito yung node. Parallel combination ni 3 at 19. O, andito si B. Tapos sa ilalim nandun si 9.5. O, ganyan ngayon yung itsura. Anong value nito? Ito ay 5 inverse. This one is 5 inverse. Plus 95 over 3 inverse. And then this one is 3 inverse plus 19 inverse inverse. Would be 5 inverse plus 95 over 3 inverse. Inverse that. It's 95 over 22. And then you have 3 inverse plus 19 inverse inverse. That's 57 over 22. So as you can see, you now have an upper branch with 2 series resistances. So we can get the equivalent of this series resistance, diba? By taking the sum of 95 over 22 and 57 over 22. Ngayon, itong series combination na to get our AB, this series combination is now parallel to 9.5. So, we're going to take inverse of the upper branch plus 9.5 inverse, the whole quantity inverse, that would give us our AB. So, inverse natin to. So, we have 95 over 22 plus 57 over 22. Inverse of that plus 9.5 inverse, the whole quantity inverse. We get 4 ohms. This is our second example for the delta Y conversion. Since hindi pa naman tayo marunong mag-network analysis, we're going to use delta Y conversion para mahanap natin si IX. What is IX? IX is the current that flows through 3 ohm resistor. Base dito sa drawing, yun yung arrow. Representation kung nasaan si IX. So, hinihingi sa atin ng problem, ano daw yung kuryenteng nagfo-flow dito sa 3 ohms na ito. Of course, since we do not know any network analysis method yet, ang pwede natin gawin dito is, kuhanin natin or alamin natin ano yung total current na sinusupply ng voltage source. And before we can solve for the total current, since you have total voltage here, we're solving for total current, kailangan natin ng total resistance ng circuit. Therefore, itong part na to, kailangan nating masimplify Diba? Para makuha natin yung total resistance natin. Ngayon, we cannot do that easily because you have a delta here. This is an obvious delta. You have a delta here, or pwede namang you have a y here. Y ito, diba? Or you have this y. Pwedeng ito yung y mo. Or you have this as y. And then, pwedeng ito ay y din. Ito, connected dito. Sa 3 ohms at sa 2 ohms. Ito ay y rin. Or pwedeng itong tatlong to, 5, 3, and 2 are delta. Okay. But if I'm gonna give a tip, especially if we're solving for voltage and current on resistances that needs delta, on circuits that need delta and Y conversions, huwag nyong iibuin yung resistor kung saan hinahanap natin yung current or voltage. As much as possible, kung may part ng circuit kayo na kailangan yung i-convert, iwasan nyo yung resistor kung saan may hinahanap tayong parameter. So in this case, hindi mo pwedeng ibuin yung 3 ohms, which means hindi mo pwedeng gamitin itong Y na to. Diba? Itong Y na to, di mo pwedeng gamitin. Hindi mo pwedeng gamitin itong delta na ito kasi kasama sa kanya si 3 ohms. Hindi mo rin pwedeng gamitin itong Y connection na to. Kasi andun si 3 ohms. So, ang gagawin ko na lang para mas madali at kita naman na natin, ito na lang delta na to ang gamitin natin. So, let's use this delta and convert it papuntang Y para ma-open ko yung circuit, diba? So, ito yung 3 nodes natin. And then, in those nodes, we are going to create a Y configuration. Okay, let's say this is resistor A, resistor B, resistor C. How do we solve for them? This is delta papuntang Y. So, yung umiipit, diba? For resistor A, ang umiipit sa kanya ay si 6 times 4 over sum ng resistances. That would be 6 plus 4 plus 5. For resistor B, anong umiipit kay resistor B? That's 5 and 6. So, that's 5 times 6 over the same denominator, which is 15. And then, for resistor C, ang umiipit sa kanya ay si 5 and 4 ohms. So, 5 times 4 over 15. So, let's simplify our values. You have here 8 over 5. This is 6 over, ano ba to? This is 2, and this is 4 over 3. After this, we can now redraw the circuit. So, I'll redraw this. Ano magiging itsura niya? I'll start with 2 ohms. We have 2 ohms. Tapos, sa dulo ni 2 ohms, I'm going to connect resistor A na. Resistor A. What is resistor A? That's 8 over 5. And then, connected na siya dito, di ba? Pwede ko yung tuwirin para maganda yung itsura ng circuit natin. So, lalaparan ko lang yung part ng node. Magkakabit lang ako ng wire dito. Tapos, dun ko ikakabit si B. Ito yung B natin. And then, sa kabilang side C. Ito yung C natin. So, yung C resistor natin is 4 over 3. At yung B resistor natin ay 2 ohms. Si B, pag sinundan mo, wala na to ha. Si 6, 4, and 5. So, si A to B, si B ay series K2 ulit. And then, si C, dito na siya nakakabit kay 3. Tapos, itong 3 ohms mo, andito yung IX na hinahanap natin. Close natin to because you have 2 ohms here sa ilalim. And then this is connected to a supply which is worth 200 volts. After that, pwede na natin kuhanin yung total resistance ng circuit natin. Kasi madali na, di ba? So kung gusto niya, isa-isahin natin. Okay, this is series. And this is series also. Pangalanan nga natin. Let's say this is R1, R2. R1 is 4 plus 4. 4 plus 4. R1 is 2 plus 2 ohms. That's 4. R2 is 4/3 plus 3. It's 9 plus 4. How much is that? 13 over 3 ohms. Okay? So, si R1 at si R2 ay parallel. 'Di ba? R1 parallel to R2. So, kung kukuhanan natin ito ng equivalent resistance, let's say R3 yon, yung parallel combination nila, that would be, R3 would be R1 inverse plus R2 inverse, diba? 4 inverse plus 13 over 3 inverse, the whole quantity inverse. R3 will be equivalent to 4 inverse plus 13 over 3 inverse is 3 over 13 inverse. That's 52 over 25 ohms. So, kung nakuha mo na yung series nito, pinarallel natin, that would be 1 resistor na lang, and that's 52 over 25. That 52 over 25 will be placed here as replacement to these two branches, and it will be series to 2, 8 over 5, and 2. Therefore, para makuha mo yung total resistance, series combination yun ni 2, 8 over 5, yung R3 natin na nandito na dapat, which is 52 over 25, plus yung last resistor natin na 2 ohms. So, yung total resistance ng circuit ngayon natin ay 192 over 25 ohms. Okay? Pag nakuha na natin yung total resistance, pwede na natin isolve ang total current. So, I tried to redraw ulit the circuit para naman masolve na natin yung current dito sa 3 ohms, which is Ix. Kanina na-solve na natin yung total resistance ng circuit natin. That's 192 over 25 ohms. You already have VT here. Ibig sabihin, pwede ko nang kunin si I total. Formula natin, Ohm's law. VT over RT. Total voltage is 200 volts divided by our total resistance, which is 192 over 25 ohms. Makuha natin si IT. So, our I total is 200 divided by 192 over 25. That is 625 over 24 amperes. So, itong 625 over 24 amperes, this is the total current that will flow through the circuit. That's IT. So, yung 625 over 24 mo, yun yung current na magpapas kay 2 ohms. Yun din yung current na magpapas kay 8 over 5. At ito rin I total na to, ito yung current na mahahati pag pumasok siya sa junction na to. If it enters this junction, you have here two branches. Diba? So, if you have an I total that enters to a junction with 2 branches, pwede na tayong mag-current divider principle doon. Diba? For current divider principle, meron tayong current on the left side and current on the right side. And since we're solving for Ix, dito tayo kumuha ng current sa kanan. So, itong Ix na dumadaan kay 3 ohms, yun din yung current na dadaan kay 4 over 3. Tama ba? So, if we solve for Ix, that would be the total current that enters the junction, that's 625 over 24, multiplied by, ano sabi natin pag CDP? Kapag dito ka kukuha ng current, yung resistance sa kabila, yung magiging numerator mo. So, yung kabilang branch mo, ang total resistance ng branch na to would be 4 ohms divided by the sum of the resistance of both branches. So, you have 4 here plus, yung branch na to, ang equivalent resistance nito ay 13 over 3. Pressing that in your calculator, you'll get Ix, which is equivalent to 2 times 4 divided by 4 plus 13 over 3. We get 25 over 2 or 12.5 amperes.